Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, to wake you up first, here's the question. Who do you blame for your misfortunes? Is it the government, the economy, the weather, your neighbor, your family, your parents? Who do you blame for your misfortunes? Is it the immigrants? Who do you blame? Just think about it. Now, we like to complain a lot about different kind of things. And we fail to understand that it is our responsibility why we live the way we live and why we feel the way we feel. It's important to recognize that. However, many people out there are struggling with the concept. They prefer to blame. They prefer to blame the external forces, the external circumstances, if things don't go their way. We want people to love us. We want to be lovable. We want people to respect us. We want to be respectable. We want people to think of us as attractive and sexy. We want to be confident and productive. Now, there are many programs out there available if you want to achieve a certain goal. For instance, if you want to lose weight, you go and choose a weight loss program. If you want to feel better mentally, if you want to feel more happy, then perhaps you go to see a shrink, a psychologist, in other ways. Right. But when things don't go our way, if we don't lose our weight, if we don't slim down, who do we blame? That's it. It's the weight loss program. It was rubbish. It didn't work for me. If we don't feel good enough about ourselves, if we don't feel loved, if we don't feel confident enough, who do we blame again? It's the shrink, right? It's the psychologist that we blame. Oh, this was a rubbish psychologist. He didn't give me good advice. Now I am asking you, why do we blame? And why do we wait for a good change to happen to us? Why don't we take responsibility and make that change that we want to see in ourselves and in others? There are plenty of examples, if you go back in history, of people that did not wait and did not blame. Instead, they took the lead and made a difference. For example, there is Mahatma Gandhi. He employed non-violent civil disobedience and led India to its independence from the British rule. His actions inspired movements for civil rights and freedom across the world. He made a difference. He became the voice of the nation, even though he was just a small man, really. Another example is Coco Chanel, the famous French designer. She wasn't born into riches. She was actually born into a poor house. But she learned to sew at the age of 6, and she went on to revolutionize the women's fashion. She transformed the women's wardrobe completely. The legacy of which we now still enjoy. For example, she freed women from wearing corsets, for one thing. Then she cut her hair very short, the style called garçon in French, which means boyish. And she also introduced trousers as a new legitimate piece of women's attire. In fact, she glamorized trousers. She saw this piece of this new garment as something that can be worn by actresses and by performers as well. So my question remains to you: why do we blame? Why is it so hard for majority of people to accept the fact that it is not the external forces that are to blame for something that we don't have, but we really, really crave to have, but we only have to blame ourselves? Many people struggle with this concept because it's easier to blame the external forces. Your neighbor, the weather, the politician, the government. The list goes on. Now, I encourage you all, regardless of your age, or your nationality, or your background, to lead the way. I encourage you to become the guiding light so others can see it from the distance and follow you. Become the beacon of change that you want to see in others. Remember the Michael Jackson song? If you want to make a world a better place, take a look at yourself and make that change. So ladies and gentlemen, I encourage you, I invite you to lead the way.
Thank you, Olga. You have Olga's time. Olga's time was 6 minutes 56.